for my Pacific Standard Time people. Good afternoon for my Central and East Coast time people. What they say is morning somewhere in the world, and it's afternoon somewhere else in the world, right? So go ahead and like this video, share this video, and we are getting started. So, good afternoon. This is Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide. And today is my first episode of Mortgage and Real Estate with Lacy Robertson. I'm so excited about this. This has been one of the things that I have been wanting to do. Just a little bit about me. I've been in the mortgage and real estate industry over 18 years. I've done everything pretty much related to mortgage and real estate, both residential and commercial. I started off in lending. I started off being a setup person, right? I was just setting up the file, didn't know what I was looking at. I mean, I knew what a pay stub was, but didn't know what I was looking at and all the details of a loan. But I started off as setup, and I worked my way up to doc drawer and funder and processor and underwriter. I did all those things. And if you have a chance, visit my website. It's modifymenow.com. You could read my bio. It says I bowed down to pressure because I started off in lending, and I have many clients over the years when they started either wanting to upgrade or downsize. They were like, Lacy, are you a realtor? At that time, many years ago, I wasn't. And they basically twisted my arm. My claim to fame is they wanted to work with someone they already trusted. Okay. And so at that time, I had a trusted realtor myself, and I would send her business, and she always encouraged me. Shout out to Beverly Marks. She always encouraged me to get my real estate license. She said, you would be a great realtor. Even though I would send her business, she still was like, thank you for sending me your clients, but you would be great at this. And so I bowed down to pressure. Many of my clients wanted to do business with me because they already trusted me and they already knew me. Bowed down to pressure, and the rest is history. So I have a vast knowledge base, both in lending. I help finance your dreams, and I help you locate your dream, right? Oh, that sounds good, right? Locate your dream home or investment property. So all those things. So, but let me share this story with you, because this mortgage and real estate show really, I just want to provide information, but we're going to get a lot of information on this platform, and I'll be fine tuning it as I go. But one of the main things God has me doing in the Bible, there is a scripture that says warning comes before destruction, right? So imagine a lot of times there are alerts like see here, we had tropical storm. I'm in California, by the way. We had a tropical storm recently. And so, it was press releases and press releases and everything. And conferences, the city of Los Angeles, Orange County, they're letting you know, hey, a storm is coming. And giving us valuable information, right? Where we can get resources for sandbags, letting you know there may be a power outage. So the warning is a storm was coming, right? But we're going to give you the tools so you and your families can be safe. So you can go to your local fire department and you can get sandbags and all of that. And you can go, if you have a non-emergency, you can call 211 or 311, depending on what you need. Like all of that was the warnings. Like, we knew a storm was coming, thankfully, and they were able to give us tips. Now, many years ago, I worked for a company called Lehman Brothers. Some of you guys may know that company. The parent company was out in New York. And I really loved working for Lehman Brothers. Made a great income at Lehman Brothers. I really thought I was going to retire there. And one year, called my wonderful realtor, and I was getting ready to purchase a piece of property. And we had found the property. I was in escrow. Even had signed loan documents. And one day I went into work, and I share this story because I'm going somewhere with it, right? I was getting ready to purchase a piece of property and everything. And one day I went into work. I'll never ever forget this. It was about 800 employees at the office that I worked for, satellite office in Irvine. And so I remember at my desk, and a message came in the morning. It said, like, we had different conference rooms. So you had like the Malibu conference room, you had the Coronado Island conference room. So we had different conference rooms. And so on the computer, it said, report, for example, report to the Malibu conference room. Okay. And so we, people were saying, oh my gosh. So when we saw the email come through, I'm like, oh, check your email. Like, we got a meeting right now in like 10 minutes. So we like literally had to stop what we were doing. And so, I was like, oh, we got a meeting in the Malibu conference room. And somebody else was like, oh no, we got a meeting in the Coronado conference room. And so I remember distinctly a supervisor stood up and yelled very loud over the floor. She says, go wherever your computer tells you to go. And we're like, okay. So we obviously have different instructions, right? And so what the company did, it was about 800 of us or so total in that whole building. They split us up. So 400 people approximately were in a conference room upstairs, and another 400 people was in a conference room downstairs. I happened to be in the one downstairs. Hi, Brandy. Thanks for tuning in. I happened to, my instructions would go to the conference room downstairs. Now, mind you, I told you I was in escrow on a house many years ago. And so going to work, get this notification to go to this conference room. So it was that day that everything changed for me. And I got the notice, along with 399 other people, that that day was my last day, and they were laying off all 400 of us. Okay. And so it was so devastating. I know. Good morning. I know that I was like, oh my gosh. And I just signed loan documents on a house. What am I going to do? I don't have a job as of today. So they told us, basically, so, you're going to have a severance for 6 months. You're going to have access to be able to go through this job placement agency that the company paid for to work on your resume and stuff like that. But today was your last day. You were supposed to go back to your desk and pack up all your things. And that was your last day. So a lot of tears, a lot of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Now, when I think about it, previously there was rumors around the office. Oh, they may be laying off. We all had to, even though we were employed, we all had to fill out new job applications. And people just didn't understand that. They were like, oh, now we're a publicly traded company because we were bought out by Lehman Brothers. Now it's publicly traded company, so we have to do new job applications, right? Well, I say, oh, ain't no problem there. I don't have no record or anything like that. And it was just whispers, but nobody ever confirmed anything. No supervisor, no nothing. And then they used us, right, until they didn't need us anymore. And so at least that 400, they let us go. And then it was shortly after, I think about 2 or 3 months later, The other 400 who thought they were safe, they were safe for a little while. The company still had use of them. They wanted to clear out their pipeline and everything. And they end up closing, and they lost their jobs about 3 months later or so. I bring this up because thankfully, even though to know when you're buying a house, normally when you sign loan documents on a purchase, there's no rescission period. Okay, so once it's kind of like when you buy a car from a dealership, unless there's something special going on with that car, there's what they call no cooling off period. So you buy it, you take it off the lot, that's it. You can bring it back, but they have at their discretion to give you a repossession. And so it was at that moment, that's all I could think about. Other people were, I'm like, yeah, I lost my job, but oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I've signed loan documents, I ain't got no job. So I called my, the person doing my loan. I called the realtor. I faxed. I told everybody. I said, look, I don't have no job. You can't fund this loan. And thankfully, it is because of that. Good morning, Renee. It is because of that I was able to not move forward with that purchase. I proved to them, look, I don't have a job. Here's my notice. Like today was my last day. You can't fund this loan. And thankfully, to this day, I don't have a foreclosure behind it. But I brought up this story because it's very dear to me. It's very dear to me because what would you do differently if you had a warning, right? If you had a warning about, again, like this storm, what would you do differently? You would check around your house like many people did when we got the warning about the tropical storm. They would, they made sure they had batteries. I went to the store yesterday. The shelves were like ransacked, right? They would go and get extra water or whatever because they don't want to be without. And so had I known in advance that I was going to lose my job on that day, I would have probably never ever applied for a loan, right? Because during this time, it was around before the housing crisis, but it was close. It's not easy when you get laid off in a mortgage and real estate industry. A lot of times it's not easy to go down the street and get another job because either one, all of them are laying off, or two, they're at least not hiring, right? And so had I been warned, like, okay, you know what, you only got 3 more months here, I would have done things differently. I wouldn't have applied for the mortgage. And so because of that experience, part of what I do, I help people finance homes and purchase them. I help people locate the home, right? So we go out, we go shopping. Once you're pre-approved, we go shopping. But I also, a great niche that I have is foreclosure prevention. During the housing crisis, I saved hundreds and hundreds of families' homes, right? I've saved their homes. They were either lost their job, went through a divorce, had a loss of income, took a pay cut. Some worked for the city or the government, and they had furlough days, right? So they lost income. They didn't lose their job completely, but they were furloughed. But all of those things, loss of income, a spouse dying, whatever, a loss of household income, I was able to help them keep their home, right? By way of a modification, or some people, it was inevitable. They couldn't afford their home any longer. They didn't have a job for a considerable amount of time. So I helped them be able to sell their property, get some relocation money. So I did all of that. But based on my experience, I'm super excited that I'm starting this mortgage and real estate show because I want to give people what I didn't have, right? I was not warned by my layoff. I wasn't warned at all. I wish I would have known that I was getting laid off. I could have saved myself some money, some home inspection money, some termite inspection money, all of those things that you do looking forward and getting ready to purchase a home. I could have saved myself some money if I knew in 3 months or in 5 months that I would no longer have a job. So this show is one of the major things I'm going to do is be encourage people that one, warn them, right, about potential layoffs in their area. My concentration is going to be on California, but I will be uploading to my website. Go to modifymenow.com so you can check out what's there thus far. But I will be updating my website with other states. But I believe if you knew that your job was going to be laying off in advance, you would be doing some things differently. Maybe you wouldn't have purchased that brand new car, right? If you knew, oh my gosh, I ain't gonna have no job, it could prevent you from maybe filing bankruptcy because you wouldn't, and get in more debt, whatever the case may be. So with all that said, I'm gonna start off, I'm gonna try to do some warnings about some layoffs that are coming up. Look, in January, there was over 30,000 layoffs. Okay, over 30,000 layoffs just in the month of January. And so I just want to warn some people, and I'm going to see how I can post some of this information on my website. So let's get started. And then I always want to close with some good news, because this is bad news for some people, right? But hopefully it's good news, because warning comes before destruction. So you lose it all behind a lost job. If you know ahead of time, you can prepare for it. So I want to help families prepare for it. So please, please, please share this video. I want to help families. I want to give them what I didn't have. See, it turned out good for me. God was watching over me. He was taking care of me. He didn't allow me to purchase that house, that loan to funds, only to find out 2 or 3 days later that I was being laid off, because I probably would have a foreclosure on my record. But thankfully, I don't. I was able to stop the bank from funding the loan. So I didn't have a warning. I didn't know. But I want to give families what I didn't have, right? And that's a message for some of you. Sometimes we are looking for things for other people to do for us, but maybe God has called you to be and do what you need, right? If you need a person in this area and you're like, I wish I had a great mentor in the medical field. I think, Renee, you're a phlebotomist. I wish I had a great mentor. God may call you to be that mentor, be that person that'll take a couple of people up under your wing and just share with them and encourage them. So let's get started with this. So it may be bad news, but the good news is, if you know ahead of time, you can plan better, right? So looking at no, that's not what I want to do. Give me 1 second here. We're going to look at some layoffs. I'm going to start with, we're already on August 23rd. So this is not much of a warning for August 23rd, since we're in August 23rd, but and this is specific to California right now. Again, I will be uploading to my website some additional information, so be on the lookout for that. So let's get started. Okay, today, Lazy Dog is laying off 109 people. Lazy Dog is the restaurant and bar. They're laying off 109 people at 16310 Beach Boulevard. So anybody that works for Lazy Dog, and you don't know, you may say, you know what, I work for myself. Please share this video. You don't know how this is going to be a blessing, because I'm going to close this video out and say, hey, if you are on potentially this layoff list, holla at your girl. I'm here to help you. If you own a home, I don't want you to feel like you got to lose it, or what are you going to do? You can't afford it anymore. There is help, and I'm your girl. Okay. So Lazy Dog, today they are laying off 109 people. That's 16310 Beach Boulevard in Westminster. In just 2 more days, Friday, we got 3 people laying off on Friday. So Lazy Dog, let me let you know, it is a permanent closure. Okay, permanent closure for those employees. August 25th. So Friday, 3 companies are laying off. Jabil, Jabil Inc. They're located at 550 Carnegie Street in Manteca. It's the closure is temporary, but they're laying off about 53 employees. Amyris, Amyris Inc. They're laying off 65 people. They're located at 5885 Hollis Street. And then Acesso is laying off on Friday. This Friday, you guys, August 25th, they're laying off 111 people. 111 people. They're located right there in Valencia, 26101 Magic Mountain Parkway in Valencia, California. So already we're well over 100 people. Wouldn't you, if you were being laid off, wouldn't this information be valuable to you? Wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't you want to help somebody be able to plan to do something or not to do something, right? They may be in the middle of doing a purchase like I was. And if they knew this information ahead of time, because let's just face it, some companies, they don't tell you ahead of time. One, they don't want you to take proprietary information. Number 2, they want it, they're a company, okay? And you are just a number. They don't care about your family, not as much as you care about your family. And so they're just looking at their bottom line. And so they want to use you until they don't need you no more. So they have specific dates, and when I'm ready for you to go, you gonna go. So again, I want to warn people. So that is Friday, August 27th. We have Thermo Fisher Scientific. They are laying off in San Diego. Hold on, here we go. See what's going on here. Okay. What is going on? Okay. Thermo Scientific. They're laying off, they're in San Diego County. They're laying off 66 people in all of these are in Carlsbad. So at 5781 Van Allen Way in Carlsbad, they're laying off. This is a permanent layoff. They're laying off 66 people there. They're laying off 5 people at 5791 Van Allen Way, and they're laying off 5 people at 5791. So they have a couple of offices there, right? So they're laying those people off in Carlsbad. Let's move right along. I'm going to try to give us all of the month of August. And then I'll see how often I do this, but if I can warn people 2 and 3 months in advance, that's what I desire to do. I want to help them and be the help that I didn't have. Now, how many of you guys are familiar with the company Tattooed Chef? Tattooed Chef, they are laying off. They are, all of these layoffs are in Los Angeles County. Okay, all of these layoffs are in Los Angeles County. You have 20 people being laid off. Oh, let me tell you this. They're being laid off August 28th. Tattooed Chef. They're laying off 20 people at 2021 East 152nd Street. Okay, they're laying off one person at 6304 Alondra Boulevard. This is a permanent closure. Okay, so permanent, not to return. These people are losing their jobs on the 28th of August. 97 people with Tattoo Chef are being laid off permanently at 6305 Alondra Boulevard in Paramount. And all of these are in Paramount. Excuse me, I think that's Los Angeles County, but the location's Paramount. So where did I leave off? 97 people at 6305 Alondra Boulevard in Paramount. One person at 6309 Alondra Boulevard in Paramount. 46 people at 6325 Alondra Boulevard. 36 people at 6403 Alondra Boulevard. 17 people at 6409 Alondra Boulevard, and 16 people at 6411 Alondra Boulevard, all in Paramount. That is Tattoo Chef. They have a permanent closure. They have a permanent closure. So moving right along, because I don't want this video to be too long. August 31st, last day of the month. Last day of the month. We have Prolific Logistics. Prolific Logistics, and they have a permanent closure for Prolific Logistics. They're laying off 136 people, and that address is 1895 Marigold Avenue. Okay, 1895 Marigold Avenue in Redlands. That's Prolific Logistics. August 31st, you have Scenario Cochran, USA Inc. They're permanently laying off 43 people at 605 8th Street in San Fernando. Okay, San Fernando. So again, I just want to help families. They may know that they're getting laid off, but they may be like me. Years ago, I didn't know I was being laid off. It caught me, it blindsided me. Me and 399 other people, and an additional 400 people like 2 or 3 months later. And so I want to be what I didn't receive. So please help me share this video, get the information out. I'm here to help. And then while this may be bad news, I am going to close it out with some good news. Okay. Let's talk about Active Wellness. Active Wellness LLC is laying off August 31st, last day of the month, 80 people at 800 West Tower Avenue in Alameda. That is Active Wellness. 80 people at 800 West Tower Avenue. You have on August 31st, Valiant Integrated Services. Permanent layoff. They're laying off 137 people at 106 Baden Circle, Building 796 in Travis, AFB, California. Okay. Intel Corporation. This is the last one, and this is not an all-inclusive list, but this is as much information that I have. Intel Corporation is laying off several people at different locations. So let me give you those. They're laying off 89 people at 1900 Prairie City Road in Folsom, California. They're laying off 51 people at 101 Innovation Drive in San Jose. This is Intel Corporation on August 31st. They're laying off 67 people at 2200 Mission College Boulevard in Santa Clara. Intel Corporation is laying off another 5 people at 3065 Bowers Avenue in Santa Clara, and they are laying off 98 people. Intel Corporation on August 31st at 3600 Juliet Lane in Santa Clara. Okay, and then the last one for August 31st, Intel Corporation is laying off 5 people at their 2191 Laurelwood Road in Santa Clara. So that's Intel Corporation. So I'm going to stop right there. Listen, the rest of this month, and again, this is not an all-inclusive list. but I've at least told you about well over 500 layoffs that are occurring from today to the end of the month. That's a lot of families that are going to be affected. Those are a lot of families that are going to be affected. But I want to get the information out. If I can help a family make a better decision, not to do something or to do something to prepare for this layoff, I've done my job. I've done my job. And so part of that, I help people avoid, foreclosure. Visit me at modifymenow.com. modifymenow.com. I wrote a #1 Amazon bestseller book. It's called modifymenow.com. Go figure, right? And so part of the good news, or the good news that I want to share at the end of this video, is if you own a home, you don't have to lose your home, although you lost your job. You don't. There are programs available to help you to avoid foreclosure, but you have to act now. You have to act quickly. Okay. You have to act now, and you have to act quickly. Banks are not going to just openly send you solicitations. This is not where you play defense. You need to play offense. Okay. So you need to reach out to me. I will help you modify. When you need to modify your mortgage, that means you have a home, you've been paying, and then all of a sudden you've had a loss of income, right? Whether it's through your job, a divorce, an illness, whatever it is, you just had a loss of income and you just need some help. You need your payment to be lowered. And so I'm able to negotiate with banks to lower your interest rate, extend the term of the loan, whatever the case may be, give you direction on how you need to move forward. But I can't help you if you don't reach out to me. So visit modifymenow.com. That is the good news. I have hundreds and hundreds of success stories. I am going to start sharing those success stories on the next broadcast that I do. But again, I wanted to be what I didn't have, right? We're talking about mortgage and real estate. We're talking about families that are being laid off as we speak. And we are giving them, or I am giving them hope. I'm giving them hope. It's not the end. You don't have to lose everything because a company is looking at their bottom line and they're saying, we have no use for you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I am trying not to keep it too long. Wow, I did that in 30 minutes. Yes, I don't want to keep you long at all, but I do want to, sound the alarm. Be what I didn't have, help. And so again, this is Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide, who is never too busy to take on another client. Visit me for all your mortgage and real estate needs. Visit me at modifymenow.com. I look forward to working with you and for you. And until then, I want you to have a blessed day. Bye-bye.